Good evening, everybody.
Hi, I'm Brendan.
I'm Levi.
We are Nerdish. Brady will be joining us shortly. He's normally here. He's the taller, also dark-headed one.
Vinroy, salutations.
Hey, how you doing, Vinroy?
You know what salutations means? The old Latin root?
No.
I don't. I just
Maybe
was asking.
salute, salutations.
Well, that's where it comes from, but I don't know what it means.
Great, thanks for that.
Yeah, no, very helpful. Very insightful.
All right. What do you be working on today?
I am doing purpose questions. Read it, dude. I don't know why it's so hard for me. I really don't. But I'm doing purpose questions, so these are the questions where they say, why did the author say this thing? Not, what is the thing here, but why. Hello and goodbye, I'm pretty sure. That's sad. That's sad.
No, that salutations. That's what he thinks it's from, not him saying that.
I thought Vinroy was saying goodbye.
I apologize for him right now. Brady will be down in not too long, and he will be going over rates, proportions, ratios as well, or percents.
Yeah.
Kind of all of that collectively. But Levi's actually going to start. So for all of you who love math like me, I'm sorry, we're actually starting with the boring part, which is the verbal section.
That's simply untrue.
Yeah. But I need to go and send something to the Discord, so
Yes.
You go ahead.
Oh, good call. All right, everybody. We're doing purpose questions, which means we are going to be... We'll start on the SAT. Purpose questions are not necessarily... They're not any harder than any other type of question, but they're easier to miss and answer the wrong thing. So a purpose question says, the author said this in order to do this, or the author refers to this so that blank. You have to answer that, not what the author specifically said, and not making too many assumptions, but why they said it and why they used it in the service of whatever their overall argument may be. With that in mind, we'll pull up the SAT. This is SAT number 1. It's down there. Also, as usual, we got the raffle. I'm drawing that on Thursday, or we're drawing that on Thursday. And then if you win, you get to work with me for free for college application stuff. Did Vinroy win? Vinroy won. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Brendan, can you pull up the overlay? I don't know. Oh, can you turn on the Bluetooth? Okay, so this is for the SAT and the ACT. Both of them use this question type.
SAT or ACT right now, sorry.
Oh, sorry, SAT. Should be on, right at the beginning. We're on the SAT. It's down below SAT number 1. It doesn't matter too much if you've done this already because it's not about getting the questions right at this point. It's about having the right approach. We're going to the reading section, so right away. This is that Akira passage about the dude, and he goes to the mother of the woman he loves and wants to marry, and he says, I want to marry your daughter. That's what it's about. Doesn't matter too much. Let's go to the questions. We're going to start with number 7. Number 7 is right down here. It says, the main purpose of the first paragraph is to. Okay, so the recognition stuff here is going to be main purpose. If you see the words main purpose, or basically purpose, the purpose is this, or something is to, that is going to tell you purpose question. They say purpose here. It's not that hard. These are pretty easy to catch. And once you catch them, you need to hold on to that idea that you're finding the purpose. So the main purpose of the first paragraph, not what happens in it, why did they do it? Let's go back up to the first paragraph. Nope. There we go. Is that helpful? Yeah. Okay. Akira came directly, breaking all tradition. Was that it? Had he followed form, had he asked his mother to speak to his father to approach a go-between, would she have been more receptive? That's the whole thing. So it's a bunch of questions, and Akira came directly and he broke tradition. So it's definitely questioning something. Let's look at the answer choices. We have describe a culture. I don't think there was much description here because there definitely, we get some insight into it, but a description, I don't like that word. So especially, this is actually a nice setup for answer choices where they give, it's basically, you have a verb and you have a noun. If those two things aren't, if one of those things isn't true, you don't get to do it. In this case, A is wrong. I don't like describe. Now, criticize a tradition. I don't think there was any criticism. There were questions, but there wasn't anything that made me feel as though the narrator or the author, whoever, was attacking that tradition. So tradition, culture are there, but describe and criticize are no good. Now, question a suggestion. I like question, maybe suggestion, maybe, but let's leave it for now. And then analyze a reaction. Okay. I don't love analyze. I like question more than I like analyze, but they're both pretty close. And then we have suggestion or reaction. And if we go up back to the passage, we have, would she have been more receptive? Knowing the rest of the passage helps you a lot here, because if you don't know, she had a poor reaction to it. So I would say the answer is going to be D, because while question is a little bit better than analyze, there's no suggestion here. I like D. Now, hey, Exec, how you doing? Good evening. I hope you're still thinking about everything. Oh, I meant to say this last night when you commented that. Yes, it helps you write a better essay if you're thinking about life and what is important to you. It also just helps you in life, things like that. Oh, Vinro is saying hi. Okay. Hello to each other, you two. Anyway, it's very important here. Main idea of the first paragraph. If they ask you about a main idea ever, now it says main purpose. If they ask you main, if you see that word in the question, you want to be doing everything else first, because this is too big of an idea. In this case, we don't really have a good sense of that word reaction, because we don't know the passage that well. So if you happened to do this question first, for whatever reason, that would be dumb, you want to do it as late as possible because it's a bigger idea. You don't have a good understanding of the passage as a whole. And that would help you a lot on this question. Okay? This is number 7. It's a good example of things, and it was also a good practice for eliminating the 3 wrong answers before, really trying to find a correct one. Because your goal should not be finding right answers. Yeah, it does. Good. I'm glad. Okay, what am I doing? We are doing question number 11. Here we go. Okay, this is the next passage. Exec and anybody else who just got here, we're doing SAT number 1. It's down below. Anytime you see an overlay, we have it down below. Okay, now, question 11. The authors most likely use the examples in lines 1 through 9 of the passage to highlight what? They most likely do this to highlight what? So that's a more specified purpose. Why are they, their purpose is to highlight something. What is that something? We certainly need to go back and read this. And this passage, as a reminder, or for those of you who don't know, is roughly about buying gifts and how people feel about buying gifts for people, and it doesn't quite match up with how people feel about having gifts bought for them. And that is actually a pitfall for this question. But let's read this. It's lines 1 through 9. Every day, millions of shoppers hit the stores in full force, both online and on foot, searching frantically for the perfect gift. Last year, Americans spent over $30 billion at retail stores in the month of December alone. Aside from purchasing holiday gifts, most people regularly buy presents for other occasions throughout the year, including weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, graduations, and baby showers. Okay, let's just summarize this real quick. Lots of people go to the store. They buy stuff. December's a big month, and they buy stuff throughout the year for different things. That's what Americans do. Right,
Woo!
Braid? Yeah?
I do that.
Yeah, you do. I haven't gotten a gift from you this year, though.
I don't do that.
Should we talk about the gift that we gave to our friend for his birthday?
Yeah.
So, Alex, do you want to explain it, or do you want me to?
No, we'll do it together.
Okay. So, our friend, it was his birthday this weekend, and Brady, what was the gift you got him?
Hey guys, we got him 3 gifts. We were at his apartment before his birthday, and I took 2 books off of his shelf, and I put them in my bag, and I brought them to a souvenir store in New York, and I got him the smallest snow globe that's like a little I Love New York snow globe, and he's lived here like his whole life, so he doesn't want that at all. And so we gave him a book they already had, but he unwrapped it, so he was excited. And I was really looking forward to, like, after he unwrapped the first book, we'd be like, all right, that was a joke, but this next one really, we think it's going to be really good for you. And then he unwrapped that one. It was just another one he already had. And then he got the snow globe, and I think that just made his birthday.
It was a very disappointing time for him, I'm sure.
His friends care about him enough to give him books that he already has read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do proportions soon, guys. I wasn't here in the beginning. Sorry about that. Vinroy, execration. Keep it up.
Okay, everybody. So they did this thing to highlight what? So the question, so me summarizing that stuff about Americans shop a lot is not necessarily the point of why they said it. It's just the summary of it. That's not what they're asking for. They did it to highlight what? the regularity with which people shop for gifts. I don't love the word regularity, but let's leave it. They were definitely saying it happens all the time, so that's okay. And say they shop for gifts, sure. Recent increase in the amount of money spent on gifts. Well, they definitely referred to an amount of money. They did not give us a differentiation between anything. So this just doesn't even make sense in the first place. It doesn't highlight a recent increase. No increase. Missed kind of. That better? Okay. Now, anxiety gift shopping causes for consumers. Now, this is a pitfall. Pitfoil. Yes.
Fallout?
Brady, you need to eat my bits from yesterday.
What do you think I had for breakfast this morning?
Got it. It was a rhetorical question, Vinroy, which I didn't understand until just now, but anyway. Okay. This is a pitfall. C is a pitfall because the passage is definitely about a lot of people feeling anxiety around gift giving and gift receiving. And so you might think, oh, that's the answer to this question because it's a nice segue, but that's not the question. The question is these specific lines, 1 through 9, did they highlight anxiety? No, they did not. They talked about anxiety not at all, and it gives you no information on how someone could be anxious about that. So anxiety is wrong. Now, D, the number of special occasions involving gift giving. Okay, so we have A and D, and I think that it definitely talked about that. So we have regularity with which people shop for gifts and number of special occasions involving gift giving. This is where the purpose question, you do want to take into account the rest of the passage because the rest of the passage is about the differences between how people feel buying and receiving gifts. And we want to highlight how often this happens, and that was clearly what that set of lines was about. I think that A works a little bit better than D because it's closer to the overall purpose of the passage. So when you're asked the purpose question, you want to ask yourself, what role does it serve in the passage as a whole? And I think that it more serves to show that people do this all the time than it serves to talk about the number of occasions that people do it. I think that A is a little bit more on point for this passage and this question. All right, so it's A. The salty spittoon. Do I need to be part of this conversation or no?
Salty spittoon?
SpongeBob.
Oh, it's SpongeBob.
Do you
Okay.
eat nails for breakfast? Without any milk? Oh, please, sir, right this way.
Okay, you two. All right. You three with Vinroy. Amber, hi. I've done this practice test too much. Sorry. We do others. It's not a bad thing to learn the approach to these questions on a test you've already done. It might actually be better because you're more comfortable with the answers, but you have more clarity on it. But yeah, when you're practicing, definitely don't do this. Howdy. Yes. Okay. Say hi to Vinroy, Amber. Be nice. Vinroy doesn't bite. Although I haven't. Who knows? 19. Hey, Brendan, your computer. Number 19. Okay. This is another purpose question. It doesn't say purpose, but it says the author refers to work by Kammerer and others in order to what? Also, need to be very careful on this one because, hey, look at Brendan. It's Brendan.
Tech guy doing tech. Tech guy doing tech.
Stooped, won't get
Hey, tech guy.
Yeah?
Tech
What
guy.
do you...
Hello.
Also, thanks for entering Vic Sweet. Everybody else, you can continue to enter as well. Vic Sweet, you might be able to enter more than once.
Sweet.
But yeah, all right. I'll let you get back to English and verbal and the reading.
They can't hear you and your negativity.
Yeah, they can.
No.
They can feel it.
It is that man. Yes, Amber. Okay. Number 19. This is dangerous. When they give you line numbers, it doesn't mean that is the only thing you're looking at. They say the author refers to work by Kammerer and others in order to what? Okay, so let's go back up to line 56, and we have it right here. We have, according to Kammerer and others, gift-giving represents a symbolic ritual whereby gift yada 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 yada. Okay, it's not saying why do they say those words. They're actually encryption. Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Nope. Come on. Wait, what have I done? We're way in the wrong direction.
What did you do?
What did I do?
What did you do?
Okay,
Levi.
guys, let me teach. They need to know. Okay, here, they refer to line 56, but that's not the question. They just say Kammerer and others. Why does the author refer to those things? It's not only at that point, because Kammerer's work, the research that Kammerer does, is not only in that one line. They, of course, explained that earlier. So why does the author refer to Kammerer's work? Because it's not that reference. It's saying they refer to the work by them. So that work, this is actually what the question is about. That word, work. That work is what we're focusing on. That work is an explanation because it explains the author's point. And I could go and show you all the different places, but it's, this passage is, what is this passage about? This is the psychology one. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's still the same one. Okay. Here we go. So, does it introduce an argument? Not so much, because the argument is already being made. So I don't like the word introduce here. Introduce is no good. And then we have question of motive. I don't think there's any deeper motive going on. I don't think that's what Kammerer has to do with. It's just, I don't like questioning. I don't like motive. There's no questions. There's no motive. None of that. I missed it entirely. Okay. Support a conclusion. Not so much, because the author is not making a conclusion at this point. The author is offering an explanation. That's not what is happening here. So if you have any questions, let me know. But this one is A. All right. Oh, I wrote into questions. Does anybody have any questions on the approach here in general? If you don't, I can get out of the way, and Brady can do whatever Brady's doing. Proportios today, right?
Proportios.
Yeah. Okay. Lovely.
Very good.
I'm out of the way, and
Thanks, Levi.
yeah. Do you need the overlay or no?
I will. Yeah.
Which one?
ACT. There are 6 questions on this ACT.
Do you want it now or later?
I don't want it now.
You don't want it now.
I want it later.
Yes.
Can I get it sooner?
Rather than
No. If you could have already done it by this point, that'd be great.
can't do it.
All right,
Can't
then.
be done.
I guess we're out of luck. I got it wrong even when I did it twice. God bless us, everyone. Amen. PSAT is tomorrow for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah. You
'Cause
taking it?
No, but I just like when I probably look like a mess. I got like plaid everywhere here. Hey, don't worry about it. That thick 800. That's right. That's the only kind of 800 you want to get is a thick one. So we're talking proportios, rates, and units. Okay. Proportios. Yeah, we'll keep it as that. Rates and units. So what are they and how do they relate to each other? Units, you should already know at this point. They're ways that we measure the world around us, all sorts of things we can measure. Length, time, mass, speed. Speed is actually a measure of 2 units, which is length over time. We'll get to that, though. Okay, rates is another word for a ratio between 2 quantities. It's just 2 quantities with units. So you have 2 different units, maybe grams per liter, 5 grams per liter. This is actually a rate. In normal conversation, we talk about rates in terms of things per unit time. Most rates that we talk about are like, how many gallons per hour is the pool being filled up with? Or Michael is running at how many miles per hour and things like that. But rates can be any unit compared to any other unit. And then proportions, or proportios, besides sounding like pistachios, which is an excellent flavor of ice cream. And you wouldn't expect it to be because it's a nut. But pistachio ice cream is just unbelievable. Especially gelato. It blows my mind. Proportions are when you set 2 ratios equal to each other to solve for a missing value. Very quickly, let's talk about similar triangles. Similar triangles are triangles that have the same set of 3 angles, so that one of the triangles is simply a scaled up version of the other triangle. And I guess the first one is a scaled down version of the other. So maybe we have some side lengths here. Maybe we have 11. Maybe we have 23. And maybe, just maybe, we have, it's got to be less than the sum of those things, 29. All right, maybe we have that. It looks like a right triangle. Just forget about the right angle for a sec. If we know that this triangle is similar to this triangle, then all of its side lengths should relate to each other in the same ratios that the side lengths relate to each other in this triangle. So let's say I knew that this was 30, and we are trying to find x right here. If I wanted to make a proportion to solve for this missing side length, I definitely would want to use 23, because that's in the same place as x. And I know I don't have anything here, so I can't use that side. So I'm going to have to use 30. And we're going to get thinking, yeah, exactly. And I'm going to have to use what's analogous to 30 on this triangle here, which is 11. So there's a couple different ways that you can put these four side lengths together in a proportion, and none of them are wrong. You can put them together incorrectly, but there are, I guess, there are like 3 different ways that you could set this up as a proportion. So I could say that the ratio between 11 and 23, which I would indicate with a fraction, this ratio should be the same as this ratio, as 30 to x. Okay, now the orders are really, really important here. If you're going to do bottom to left side, you got to do bottom to left side over here. Okay, I could set this up as, let's say, small bottom to big bottom. It sounds ridiculous, but I'm saying it. 11 over 30, small bottom to big bottom, would be the same as small left to big left. 23 over x. Okay, I could say that. I could say something else. May we juniors succeed tomorrow. Yes. Oh, no, that's nerdish. That's us. Never mind. Yes, you guys. I hope they succeed. Once you have a proportion set up, you just cross multiply, and then you solve for the missing value. So I'm going to solve this one up here. Cross multiplying. 11 times x is going to give us 11x. 23 times 30 is going to give us 690, if I believe. Yeah, 690. So now I just have to divide both sides by 11 to solve for x. And we're just going to say that x is 690 elevenths. How about that? Let's take an easy way out. Depends on how the answers are given to you, but I'm just going to stick with 690 over 11. All right, the real practice is going to be going over some of these questions. So, Levi.
Yeah.
I'm going to want that ACT overlay because we got plenty of questions to do.
Yeah, you do.
And I know that the people watching are more excited about these questions than I am, which is really saying something.
Okay, you want...
Very first one.
Okay, lagging.
Lagging. Please hold by. Stand by. Hold on. Number 3, Levi.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
Okay.
Okay. What do we got here? Number 3. Oh, man.
Let's do this.
I love this particular roadmap. It's such a particular roadmap. So, number 3. On a particular roadmap, 1/2 inch represents 18 miles. About how many miles apart are 2 towns that are 2.5 inches apart on this map? So what they're giving you here is called a scale. When it's on a map, we call it a scale. It tells us how much bigger the real world is than the representation that we have of it in front of it. Amber Muffin's really excited. Vinroy ACT Wood. Fantastic. Everyone's excited. That's the big 2 right there. Amber Muffin and Vinroy. We refer to you guys as the big 2. And let me pull this down. Oh, I can't. Okay. So a scale is just a fancy word for a ratio. It is a ratio between the distance on a map to the distance in real life, the actual world around us. And they tell us that 1/2 inch represents 18 miles. Those 2 numbers go together. That's our first ratio that we know both numbers of. I don't like finishing the sentence with a preposition, but I felt like I had to. Sorry, Levi.
It's okay.
All right, so we've got, I want to write that down. We have 1/2 inch. I'm going to put that over 18 miles. So that is a ratio that we know. They're asking us how many miles apart are 2 towns that are 2.5 inches apart on the map. To set this ratio up, I need to make sure that whatever I have on the top on one side, I keep that consistent with what's on top on the other side. So they gave us inches, and they want us to find how many miles apart there are. They are. So the thing that I don't know is the miles, which is going to be on bottom because that is what was on bottom on this side. I'm going to put an X right there. That's what we're trying to find. We have 2.5 inches up here. I'm just going to say that this is 2.5. This is our proportion. All right, if you want to put your units on top and bottom, I would not stop you because that's just another surefire way to make sure that you don't mix up your units here. Inches on top, miles on bottom. Cross multiply at this point. We have 1/2 x is going to be equal to 18 times 2.5, which will be 36 plus 9, which is 45. All right. If you want to divide by 1/2 or multiply by 2, you can do that. Hint, they're the same thing. Whoa! which is going to be x is equal to 90. So that's going to be E right down here. Here we go. A little bit of E. That's where I am. Yes. Amber Muffin, we got a face. That's good. Next one we're going to go to, unless there are any questions on that, pretty basic proportion problem right there, is number 14. I love looking at this, then looking at the practice test I did. I also like doing that. That is something we share in common.
Can I see one of you guys real quick?
Yeah, I got you in a sec. 14?
14. I have to do this. There it is. There it is. That's where it is. Okay. So number 14. Antoine. It's Antoine. It also looks almost like Ant-Man, like the movie with Paul Rudd. But it's not Ant-Wan. I'm going to call him Ant-Man, though. Ant-Man drew the circle graph below describing his time spent at school in one day. His teacher said that the number of hours listed were correct, but that the central angle measures for the sectors were not correct. What should the central angle measure be for the core subject sector? I love struggling at practice tests and watching you guys do it so easily. Amber Muffin, we want to make this easier for you, and I hope that it is becoming easier over time. Is this a CT? Is this ACT? Yes, it is. This is ACT. And you can find our ACT below. There's a link to it. It's called ACT 1572 CPRE, and you can follow along with the problems that we're doing.
We did do number 14 yesterday, actually.
Oh, we did. Should I keep going then, or should I?
Why don't you skip it?
Skip it? All right, guys, we're just going to skip this one. We did it yesterday. You can check out our stream on our channel page. So, oh no. We're going to do number 16. There we go. Okay. Bet you guys didn't do this one yesterday. No answer from the guys. That's good. A car accelerated from 88 feet per second to 220 feet per second in exactly 3 seconds. Assuming the acceleration was constant, what was the car's acceleration in feet per second from 88 feet per second to 220 feet per second? Over time, yes. What I don't have, however, is time. Amber Muffin, that's why you should stop sleeping. I haven't slept for 3 years, and just look at me. All right, I'm doing great. I've got pajama pants on. Sometimes you just stay indoors all day. You know, sometimes you have to. Now, Amber Muffin, keep sleeping. You definitely don't want to cut out on that. That's super important. Acceleration, if you've seen some physics before, this will be a little bit easier, but it's still doable. It's a very simple equation, but understanding what acceleration is will definitely help. Acceleration is the rate that your velocity is changing. Your velocity is a fancy physics word for speed, okay? The rate at which your speed is changing. So let me give you an example. No, not really. Okay, it's kind of like the change in speed over the change in time. It's not just like that, it is that. I'm staying up to do another test. I've been inspired. Yes. Our currency is inspiration. We feed off of it, Amber. If you're inspired, I'm inspired. And if I'm inspired, Brendan is a little ticked off because he doesn't like when I'm inspired.
Don't do it.
You see? He's already doing his thing. So the change in speed over the change in time. The thing that confuses students about this is that speed is already measured in units per time. This is feet per second. And then we're going to divide that by another set of seconds, feet per second per second. Absolutely, that's exactly what we're going to do. Because your speed is changing over time, and so you've got something that has time in it already that is changing over time itself, which is perfectly viable. You can do that. It's almost just like finding the slope, okay? So we want to find the change in speed. The change in speed is going to be the final speed minus the original speed. So that's going to be 220 minus 88. That will give us the numerical change in speed. I just wrote behind the words. Save some space here. 220 minus 88. And the change in time, the amount of time it took for the speed to increase to that was 3 seconds. So we're going to put a 3 down here. So yes, we do have feet per second over seconds. That's okay. The change in speed over the course of these 3 seconds, we're going to get by subtracting these. And let's see. That's going to be 120, 140, 132. I am pretty sure. It makes sense that that's a 1/4. Yes. Okay, 132 divided by 3. And yes, that is feet per second up top over seconds down here. Those colors really don't look that different. I apologize. And what is that going to give us? Well, I mean, I could... You guys got a calculator, otherwise I'm just going to go ahead and brute force this guy.
132 divided by 2.
Divide by 3.
44.
We got 12, 44. 44, yep. Which is going to be H. Oh, yes, guys, enter. We're still running this contest here. But now is it only one winner a week, Levi?
Yes.
Yeah, one winner a week. You enter in either exclamation point enter or exclamation point ticket. You are going to be entered into a raffle to win a free session with Levi to work on your college essays. So juniors, forget about it. Seniors, don't forget about it. Remember about it. Enter in there. Okay, any questions on this one? If there's not, we're just going to blaze on forward, and we're going to accelerate. Pick up speed. Yeah, those guys liked it. I thought so. Otherwise, next we're going to go shortcuts, show-offs. Oh, never mind. I can't read. Number 33 is the next one we're going to do. Number 33. There it is. Okay. Let me erase this. A lot of faces are going on in this chat. Okay.
That's super disappointing.
What is?
Levi thought we had points.
I thought we'd have the most points, but Nerdish has 0.
We have 0
It's
nerds?
very sad.
Yeah,
I
maybe
thought-
it's where we don't get them.
I thought we had 3 nerds.
Okay, Bird. Okay.
Oh, jeez. All right, that's not good. I shouldn't have said that.
Hold on, redemption.
All right, 33. All right, 33. A 15-foot wall is how many inches long in the scale drawing? This is pretty similar to that first one we did. All right, we have to figure out what the scale is first. So let's go back a little bit and see what they said. Let's see. Gianna is converting a 12-foot by 15-foot room. Mom. She's not converting her mom. In her house to a craft room. She'll install tire herself. Okay, this scale. I'm just going to skip forward. The scale is right here. 0.25 inch represents 2 feet. So I'm going to write that down. That's our scale. 0.25 inches represents 2 feet. I'm going to write that on the bottom. That's our ratio. That's our rate. That's our scale. So the question is, a 15-foot wall is how many inches long in the scale drawing? All right. This should be very straightforward. Oh, what's the raffle? So the raffle is to win a free session with Levi to go over your college application essay. Whether you just want to talk about ideas for what you could write your essay about, if you already have an essay and you want him to look over it and make some suggestions and some edits, win a free perfect score. Yeah,
Siddharth.
I wish. I wish. Okay, we're going to set this equal to another ratio and make a proportion. 15 feet, 15 foot is what we know. So the foot goes on the bottom, all right? Just like in human bodies, the feet go on the bottom. Sorry, it's been a long day. We're wondering how many inches it's going to be, and inches is our mystery value up top, so that's where our variable is going to go. Do you guys chance?
Don't worry about it.
Got it. I'm not going to worry about it. I will dissociate and repress from the worry about that question. Repress and dissociate.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can't do the former. It's impossible. You have to repress first if you're going to successfully dissociate. Cross multiply. That's what you always do in this situation, right? 2 times x. We got 2x. 0.25 times 15. 0.25 is a quarter. So a quarter times 15 is going to be 15 divided by 4. And then in order to continue solving this, I just divide both sides by 2. So x is going to be equal to, in this case, that would be 15 over 4. I'm going to turn this into fraction division. 2 is the same thing as 2 over 1, and to divide by 2 over 1, you multiply by its reciprocal, which is 1/2. So that's going to be the same thing as 15 over 4 times 1/2, which is going to give us 15 over 8. 15 over 8. 15 over 8 is going to not be 2, it's going to be 1, and it's going to be 7/8. 1 and 7/8, and they give us that as an option B right here. Any questions, guys? Any questions? You guys are doing really well right now, I have to say. There's no questions, which means you guys just are cruising. 51. 51 is the next one unless there are no questions. Vinroy speaks for the entire group. No questions. All right, Vinroy. Well, let's see if you have a question on this next one. Yeah, man. Oh, I got 51 wrong. Oh, he does have a question on this one. And Amber Muffin, I don't know how to do the conversions. Amber Muffin, conversions.
Give an example.
Yeah, give me an example of a conversion you mean. Unit conversions related to the questions that we've been doing, or just like changing feet per second into miles per hour, or changing square feet into square inches. Unit conversion. Okay, general unit conversion. Can you guys turn off the overlay for a quick sec?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so unit conversion. Okay, Amber Muffin, this is for you. You want to use, the thing that you need to know is first off what the conversion rate is, okay? We're going to start off really, really simply. We're going to have inches to feet, okay? We should know if you live in America with our weird system that 12 inches is 1 foot, okay? So you can turn this into a fraction with inches on top, feet on bottom, or vice versa. There are two different ways to assemble this into a fraction. And why does it matter which way we set it up? The reason why it matters is because it depends what we're trying to convert to and convert away from.
You need this.
No, I do not. I was waiting for you to erase it, and you were late.
Yes, sir.
So 1 foot over 12 inches, okay? Depends what you're starting with and what you want to get to. Levi,
Yes.
Give me a number of feet.
Nah.
Okay,
4.
4
Yep.
feet. That's 2 humans. Unless these are severed, in which case the humans are not
Oh,
part
that
of
type
it.
of feet.
Yeah, no, forget about it. Forget about it. Let's say we have something weird like 7.8 feet. I don't know. That sounds like a good amount. Let's get some new colors in here. All these colors look the same. 7.8 feet. Okay, Amber. Hope you're paying close attention. The thing that you're starting with, you want to put it over 1. You can do that. You can put anything over 1. It doesn't change anything, okay? We want to turn this into inches. We want to multiply this by one of these. We want to do it in a way that the units that we don't like will cancel out, okay? Just like numbers, units cancel out, okay? If you have 5x over 3x, x is some number. If it's on the top and bottom, it cancels itself out, leaving you with just 5 over 3. Units can do the same thing. If you have feet on top and feet on bottom, the feet will cancel out, which is what we want to have happen in the first place. So we want to multiply this by the fraction that has feet on the bottom, which is this very first one I wrote. 12 inches over 1 foot. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, I intuitively knew that I'm going to multiply this by 12 to get how many inches this is. And yes, for simple conversions, you're going to intuitively know what you need to multiply or divide by. But when you start doing multiple conversions and you have to go through several units to get to your desired unit, that's when this process really comes in handy because you can visually see your units being canceled. So feet, cancel with feet. And at this point, all I have left is inches, which is the place I want to be in. So I can just multiply fractions. 7.8 times 12 over 1 times 1. 1 times 1 will not do anything here, so we don't have to worry about it. So really the only operation we have to do is 7.8 times 12. And 7.8 times 12...
93.6.
93, thank you, Brendan. 93.6 inches, okay? That's basic unit conversion. I'll show you one that's slightly harder with 2 different units on top and bottom so you can see why this really comes in handy when it gets complicated. Hey, we got a frog over here jumping around like a frog on lily pads. That's a goat, Levi.
I thought that's where you were going with that, Brady.
Actually, I didn't even think about that, but now that you said it, I could just explain the rest of it like Kermit.
But I won't. But I could.
That's very unsettling.
It is a little
Wait, is Amber
unsettling.
saying thank you because she's done or because she wants you to do this?
Yeah, Amber, is that good? You want me to keep going? I could show you how it gets more complicated. Or if that's, see us gone, does that mean yes?
they're laughing.
Or are they laughing? Because that's like a yeah, like a cowboy kind of thing. Amber, keep going. Keep going as in keep going with units, or keep going as in continue on what I was doing before with the questions of the ACT? I should have been more specific.
You're so lost. You're so annoying.
Me? Continue. That isn't... Is that what the ACT?
I don't know, dude. I was paying it up.
Wait, Amber, with the units or just what we were originally doing?
Specific.
Be specific, Amber. Don't just give us faces.
It's all Amber's fault.
It's not specific. I don't know. I don't either. Oh, Amber. You're...
Hey. Uh-oh.
Shall we do SAT?
Oh, are you hungry, Bird?
Oh, I could go for a couple bits.
You're ridiculous.
Thank you. Okay, Amber, I'm just going to keep going with ACT. Sorry, I
SAT.
clapped. That probably was not good.
Oh, no. I see.
Okay, can one of you guys pull up the overlay again?
Yeah.
Okay.
SAT or ACT?
ACT. Sorry if I said SAT.
I don't know what you said.
I don't know what I said either.
What number? 51?
51.
Oh, can I do this one?
Oh, it depends what it is.
It's ratios.
Oh, well, I hate ratios. Oh, yeah, actually, there are two different ways to do this one. You want to do one and I'll do the other?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's a good
come on
idea.
over here.
Yeah.
Whisper the way that you're going to do
Stop
it.
it, Siddharth.
Were you going to scale
Stop
up the
it.
ratios, or were you just going to multiply one by the other?
What?
Which way were you going to do this?
I'm gonna do it my way.
Okay, we're going to watch Levi do it one way, and then I'll show you the other way.
I didn't want to whisper about it. No
Okay.
secrets. X to Y equals 5 to 2, which means that 5Y equals 2X. Eh? Or, okay, this is how I'm going to do it.
Do we have any idea in the curve? Yeah, we have some like loose ideas, but we have no idea if our ideas are consistent with reality. So I don't think it's even worth it to tell you what our ideas are. Did I spit, or are these all just little points?
No, it's predominantly spit.
Well, how come it's not going anywhere?
It's fine. No, you're going to break the glass.
No, you're gonna break the glass.
Nah.
These are little divots, aren't they?
Yeah, if you kind of go like that, they go away. But they can't see them, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, keep going. I want to get rid of these.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what we need to focus on right now?
Dude,
That's a good point. That's a
you're
good point.
talking.
That's a good point. I am talking. Okay. We're doing x to y equals 5 to 2. X over y equals 5 over 2. You want to put things into equations as soon as possible because equations you're used to just solving things. So we have the first one. Let's make the second one. Y to z equals 3 to 2. So y over z equals 3 over 2. We want the ratio of x to z. So if we want x over z, nope. X over z? Yeah. Bird, I'm scared. Margin of error questions. Can you give us an example?
Yeah, I'm not sure what they mean by
I don't. Those are very, very uncommon, and I don't think they're on either of these tests.
talk about it.
We can talk about it, but if you have a specific question, put it in the Discord. That would be ideal.
Or in the chat.
Or in the chat, if you can do that. Yeah. So we want x to z. Now again, when you have colons, you don't necessarily feel comfortable doing math with colons. That's probably the problem with some of these questions like this. So you want to put them into equations as soon as possible. Thank you, Amber. X over y equals 5 over 2, this, and then we have x over z. So this is what we want. How do we make this happen?
No, keep going.
Oh, you're just yawning?
Yep.
Okay. What I would do here is we don't have y here. So we don't want y because all the answers are just numbers. We need to get rid of y somehow, so we're going to substitute the y into the other equation. It's like the same thing as when you're dealing with systems of equations, except this time we don't have to eliminate one of the 2 variables. We need to eliminate one of the 3 variables. And that's still fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that I'm going to multiply both sides by z, and we have y equals 3 over 2z. I'm going to make this into just one fraction and be perhaps a little bit easier when we plug things in. 3z over 2. And then we're going to take this and we're going to plug it into that y. which will bring us over here. Yeah,
Nice.
thanks. And we're
Hey.
going. Sorry.
Is that a dead marker?
Yeah, sort of. Oy, okay, which leaves us, with x over. Now we're dividing by 3z over 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say x over 1 times, and we're going to do keep, change, flip type of deal. I'm going to guess e. Good guess. I don't know. Marcus screeching hurt my ear. Okay, sorry. No, I am sorry. That stinks. That's why I threw it out. X over 1 times 2 over 3z, because we're inverting that fraction. Keep, change, flip, or whatever, however you remember it. 2 over 3z equals 5 halves. Now we have 2x over 3z equals 5 halves. And then let's multiply by 3 halves on both sides. That goes away. We have x over z equals 15 over 4. So x to z is 15 to 4, which means that our answer is E. You are correct, Siddharth. So what's important, do you want to do your way as well?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just finish up real quick with my way. So
Go for it.
I like equations. Equations are good because as soon as you have them, you can fit it with the context of the question. The context of the question is you know where you're going, which is x over z. You don't have y. Once you have these equations set up, you know how to manipulate equations pretty well. So you want to get rid of your y, you solve for it, substitute it in, and then make your answer, this new equation, look like the goal, which is x over z. That's what we did, and we get to the answer. I try to make it as clear as possible every single time when I'm doing it, so I don't have to think so hard. The hard part is setting this up. Once you're there, then you're doing normal stuff all over again.
Very good. Very good. Okay, I do like the way you did that, Levi. I like your insistence on making equations as fast as possible. I've always been a fan of speed equations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're a big speed equations guy.
Still slow.
I always have been.
Hey!
Hi.
What, Levi's slow?
That method.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, a little bit. So I'll show them a faster method. Okay. So they gave us two equations. They gave us what x to y is, and oh, geez, that's behind the words. Levi, why did you let me do
No,
that?
that is entirely my fault.
Okay. They gave us what x to y was, right? The colon, just a fraction, like Levi was saying, and they also gave us what y to z was. The quickest way to get to x over z is to simply multiply these two fractions together, because cancellation will happen. The y's are going to cancel on the top and bottom, leaving you with x over z. So in those places, we have 5 over 2, and we're just multiplying that by 3 over 2. Okay? And we know that the y's secretly are canceling right now. I know 3 and 2 are not the same number, but what they represent, the y's will cancel. We just have to do this fraction multiplication. So this is going to give us 15 over 4, which
Is E. That's
which
the
is E, 15 over
Yeah.
4. Exactly. Yeah.
answer. E.
And then Brendan has another way of doing it, which is where he scales up one of the ratios. Do you want to do that, Brendan?
I just make it visual.
You just make it visual?
I can, sure.
Yeah, come on, let's get the whole
Yeah,
gang
why
up
don't you
here.
do it?
Oh, yeah, but
Let's get the band back together. Brendan's on drums.
back together.
Levi does occasional harmonica
I actually am on
solos.
drums, but
And I just stick with the tambourine, and I stand in the corner.
and we all do vocals.
All of us.
right.
Well, maybe Brady just stays for the vocals.
Can I take one of those?
Yeah, you can
Thanks.
take both of them.
Okay.
Do you want
all right.
this?
No, I don't. Can you? Okay.
It's there if you want it.
Not anymore.
Not
is it?
anymore.
Brendan.
All right. Can I get some space here?
If you want.
Levi's
not
Wait,
moving.
more or less?
Can you turn the overlay off,
Yes.
please? And thank
Do you want these to stay up? there?
Yes, those up. The overlay off. So we
I
actually have
got
space here. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and write this up. Then we have x to y. We have y to z. And this is 5 to 2, 3 to 2. And what we want, and I think a lot of you maybe have seen me do this before, we want x to y, right? We want that relationship.
X to Z.
X to z. I just drew it x to z, but I said it wrong. Yes. We want x to z. We have x to y, and we have y to z, meaning y is our term that is shared. Meaning, if we get them to be the same value, we should have a relationship to x to y. Right?
X to Z.
Dang, that's. This is why Brady's doing math tonight, and I'm off it. Okay, this is how we get x to z.
X to Y.
Shut up. All right. I want my y's to be the same. I want a common multiple here, 2 and 3. I'm going to make that 6. Okay, I multiplied this by 3, so I'm going to get 15. I now have the 6 for both of them. Y is the same. And I now have, I multiplied this side by 2, so I'm going to get 4. Meaning we have 15 to 4. So there are many ways to do this. I like the visual way best because I'm a visual learner. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, actually, I guess, Brady, you're done with your section. So, yeah.
I got one more.
No, you got one more?
Absolutely.
Is it necessary?
It's actually a hard one. Yeah, it's closer to 60.
Hote.
Levy, can you put up the overlay?
All right. Any of you guys who are here for PSAT that's going on tomorrow, feel free to ask us any questions. Those of you who aren't here for the PSAT tomorrow or this weekend, also ask us questions.
Bird, what number?
54. Last
Thanks
one.
for the follow. I think that's Little My. Literney?
Litany.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Those R's and the M's and the N's, they're kind of hard when they're all together like
they get you.
that. All right.
54. A dog eats 7 cans of food in 3 days. At this rate, how many cans of food does the dog eat in 3 plus D days? Oh man, it's like pulling the sword from the stone.
And you got it.
I am the true king of Britain.
All right, Arthur.
Because I pulled the 2.
Yeah, no, I got it.
I know. I just wanted to make that voice. All right, we got a ratio
All right,
right here.
I'll let you do it.
7 cans, 3 days. We're gonna get you up after this, Brendan.
Okay.
Yep. 7 cans, 3 days. 7 cans, 3 days. All right, that's the rate that this dog is eating at, which is a fantastic rate for a dog. And they want to know how many cans of dog food the dog's going to eat in 3 plus D days. So we had cans over days. We just have to fill in our second fraction of what we don't know over what we do know. We want to find out how many cans the dog is going to eat, which is the thing that's going to be on top. X cans. And we know the number of days. It is 3 plus D. Sure, we don't know what D is, but we know that 3 plus D represents the number of days. So we're going to put that down here. 3 plus D. So all we have to do is solve this for X with cross multiplication. 3X is equal to 7 times 3 plus D. We're just going to solve this thing for X. So we are going to divide both sides by 3. I need a rag. Divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 7/3 times 3 plus D. Now this is not an answer, so what they must have done is just distributed the 7/3 to both of the numbers inside the parentheses. When you multiply 7/3 times 3, the 3's cancel out, leaving you with just 7. So I'm going to put that over here, leaving us with just 7 on the left, and then plus 7/3 D. And that, in fact, is an answer, which is K. That is 7/3 D right there. Absolutely. Let me just get down here. Ooh, right there. Okay, that's not a good one. That's better.
All right.
All right, Brendan's turn.
Cool. Levi, can you shut that off for us?
Yeah.
Thanks. All right, let's go ahead and erase this. Amber Muffin. And I think who had asked it the first time? Maybe Aka Awesome. If that's acapella awesome, like pitch perfect, I don't know. I may be saying it wrong. ACA Awesome. Hopefully you're still here. Let us know. But there was a... There was what?
The Affordable Care Act,
The
ACA?
Affordable Care Act. Yes. Ugh. Asked about margin of error questions. And they are, I guess, what I was expecting. I'm going to have to read this to you. Ideally, you guys go and read this in the Discord because there's a lot to take in, and I'm not going to write it all up. But it says a research assistant randomly selected 75 undergrads from the list of all students enrolled in the psychology program degree at a large university. She asked each of the students, how many minutes per day do you typically spend reading? The mean reading time was 89 minutes with a margin of error of 4.28 minutes. All right. Now, another research assistant intends to replicate the survey and will attempt to get a smaller margin of error because she thinks she's better, and maybe she is, especially if she does it differently. Which of the following samples will most likely result in a smaller margin of error for the estimated mean time students in the psychology degree program read per day? Okay. New research assistant wants to show her friend that she's better. She's going to do a better survey here. And how will she do it? We can choose 40 randomly selected undergraduate students in the psychology degree. So we can have 40 and everything else stays the same. We can have 40, and let's do psych here.
It's pronounced Fochi.
We have 40 random, so not just the psychology, but they did say and they stipulated in the question that they are worried about the psychology degree program students. We have 300 psych students and then 300 random. Rando. Now, I don't care about the random students. We can go ahead and you should recognize that you can cross these off. This has nothing to do with margin of error. This has to do with the actual study itself. They are worried about how much a normal student, what does the margin of error suggest in respect to the mean? It means that you are not so sure to the mean. So the larger your margin of error, the less certain you are that your mean is correct, or whatever the margin of error is in relation to. Meaning for this one, if we take 40 students, we will have less information to base our mean upon. Meaning we will probably have a larger margin of error than if we chose 75. Meaning if we choose 300 students, we should have a lot more data to say how many students at this university that are psych majors read in a given week or a given day. Day, week, doesn't matter. You want to choose the one with the larger number here because if we have 4 times as many data points, we will have much more certainty that our mean is correct. Does that make sense, Amber Muffin and ACA Awesome? Okay, great. Yes. Good. All right, what other questions do we have?
It seems like none at the moment.
All right, if there are any last minute questions, I know a lot of students are taking the PSAT tomorrow, maybe sophomores, maybe juniors. If you're a junior, I guess it's more impactful in terms of you have a potential to get the national merit. National merit, whatever.
Yes, and unfortunately for those people, the raffle doesn't help that much. Also,
that is for seniors only.
Most of our most common viewers, I think everybody who's been commenting has won. I forget, did CS Gone win?
CS Gone won, yeah.
Yes, so
We're gone, yeah.
Everybody's been commenting today. You've all won, so sorry. If you have other ideas for raffles that we can do, let us know. We can do it.
Students also say that the survey questions are easy, but how am I supposed to know which studies are most reliable? Meaning what? As in, why would one type of study not be reliable? Lots of times that has to do with bias. So there's one specific question. There goes my phone. There's one specific question I remember from one of the tests where it's asking about, they want to know if people prefer to go to a sports game to watch the sports game or watch it on TV. And they went and interviewed people. They surveyed people who were only, for supplements, they were only asking people at a sports bar, or at a bar, on a Monday night. Right? Meaning, if people are at a bar on a Monday night, there's a good chance that they're watching Monday Night Football at the bar and not at the game. Meaning, it's already biased because that's like standing outside of a football stadium and saying, hey, do you prefer to watch a football game at the stadium?
Yes.
Well, you're at the stadium, so you're not going to get an actual representative result from that. That one's maybe a little more obvious, but it's something like that. You really have to see why. Each question is different, but you need to look into where are they doing it, how many people they're doing it, how many people they're surveying, what the specifics of what they're surveying are, and if anything that I mentioned previously to that can affect it. So if they're asking if you like to go skiing, and they're asking people in Aspen, Colorado, most people are probably going to say yes. Unless it's skiing versus snowboarding, but if it's skiing versus not skiing, they're not going to live in Aspen to not ski.
Yeah. Also, Vinroy, do you mean supplements like supplement essays? Because if so, it's bundled into the same thing. It's just application essays in.
Yeah, I laughed because I assumed it was.
like supplements for protein and things.
Yeah. Well, Darren worked at a whatever for a while at a GNC for like.
Yes, it is, Vinroy. So yeah, if you want to work with me right now, since you'll talk about it, you can send me a message.
Yeah.
Whatever it needs to be.
Let us know if there are any questions regarding
Brendan's personal life.
No.
I thought you took a pause specifically so I could say that.
No, I wanted to pick up my phone. Yeah, welcome Queen Money to the Discord. But if we have any questions, let us know. That is what this part of the stream is for. Let us know, guys. What do you want to know?
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me you're all getting 1600s and 36s and 1520s tomorrow.
What problems are you working on? What content are you doing? So for the math, yeah, I assume you're going to UWorld to get all those problems and other places like that, Khan Academy.
Khan
But what
Academy.
about the reading and the science for you ACT people? Is it?
I think your world might offer some of that, but I haven't actually seen it.
Wow. Yeah, where are you going and how is it going and what types of questions are you messing up on? Or is there no stuff? Practice, so the official ones? If they're official, great. And then bring those questions in because, you're doing your first one. Okay, so work
alright.
through that. Also, it's, because nobody else is asking questions, it's definitely good to obviously look at the ones you got wrong and figure out the conceptual stuff that you messed up. But a lot of the time, it's not necessarily that. It's in your approach and your failure to recognize something that you should have done or could have done. So if you tell us the problems that you're getting wrong, we can possibly work through your mistake in the approach, figure that out, because that's arguably more important because you probably understand most of the concepts you need.
Yeah. I don't like the Kaplan test.
Yeah, Amber, if you're a senior and you don't have a ton of time and you're not going to exhaust all of the, I think, ACT resources, and you won't because there are so many tests, don't use Kaplan.
No, they make it either too hard or they have questions with answers that aren't correct or they have a lot of errors in them. And they do make it way more difficult than it should be. Meaning if you are getting 36s on all the practice tests and you want something harder, go for it. But it is only going to discourage you, especially if you don't know that going into it, that they are not the ACT and they do not know how to make those tests perfectly.
Yeah.
I can't really blame them for not being able to do it the same way.
Yeah.
But they claim to it, and that's why I blame them.
Also, if you've already bought the book, then we take it back. You should use it, but don't also.
But just don't put too much weight in your score afterward.
Yeah, the score doesn't mean anything on the Kaplan.
Yeah, they don't actually know how they're scoring it because they don't give it to kids and get a curve back. They don't do that. They're just like, this sounds good. We made this one kind of hard.
Yeah, don't do Kaplan. I mean, you can do it, but that's not where you're going to.
It's the online program? Oof.
Couldn't hurt.
Oh, okay, it's the free one then.
Yeah.
There you go. I would say use it just to practice specific problems, not to emulate a test.
Yeah. Okay, other questions. Math, science, reading, writing, English, essay, other essay, college application essay, Brandon's personal life.
Vinroy sent one.
Good.
Don't they? I don't see it.
Nope.
Oh, okay, shut up, wait. All right. Oh, it's the same. No, it's not. Okay. In still other parts of Japan, the shining trio appears in the center of an hourglass-shaped drum, a Susumi. Matrices, because you've never seen them before. Yeah, that's good then. Amber, I know we went over those yesterday. They are very rare, and they will not ask you difficult questions past just knowing what the determinant is, which they usually show you. They might have basic adding or subtracting, maybe a scalar, right? And if they have you multiply, they will not have you find the resulting matrix. They will have you know, they will either say, what is the value of one of the, they'll have two matrices and they'll have a variable in maybe some of the spots and say, what is the value of one of those variables? Or they will say, you have four matrices and they'll give you their dimensions and say, which ones can you not multiply? And then you are just worried about the order of what's being multiplied, and if you have A times B, 2 times, we'll say y times anything x. You only care about this, right? These have to be the same and you can multiply them, meaning B times A would not work. Can you do some example free response questions in the math section? Absolutely, TJ is bronze. If you want, give us an example. We have a test down below. If you want to give us a specific one to go over, we can absolutely do that.
Yeah. Vinroy's question. Okay,
yes,
so
sorry.
we're going to... This is not going to work, Vinroy, because I think we need more of the passage beforehand, because if we're just looking at the answer choices in number 69. Also, TJ, if you're looking for what we're about to be talking about, it's also down below in our Discord. You can see what Vinroy posted. and that's the thing to which I'm referring. In this case, the answer choices are and let's see, A is in still other parts of Japan, B is in Japan's imagination, C is in Japan, and D is this. They lack information. Some of the answer choices lack information. What that should tell you is either that some of the longer answer choices are redundant, or the shorter answer choices aren't specific enough and it's ambiguous what's going on. So we can't quite tell because we don't have enough information from beforehand. Yeah,
Hey, Plaster Hippie.
you can send the rest, Vinroy, but also check maybe that just looking at the answer choices and knowing that it's specific versus too vague might get you the right answer.
PSAT tomorrow. You're in luck. Ask us any questions you have. Ask us all the questions you have.
All of your questions, all at once.
Yeah, TJ, if you give us a specific question, we can go over and do that in the SAT we have below. We have that. We can pull it up on the screen. But yeah, Plaster Hippie, any questions you got, you let us know.
Okay, Vinroy, if the answer
That is
was
why
A,
we are here.
I don't have all the information, but it says in still other parts of Japan. So if this is a continuation of a discussion of this shining trio, whatever that was, if it's a continuation of that discussion from before in the passage, then it probably said something along the lines of this thing is this in this area of Japan, and this one is this in Kyoto, and this is this in Tokyo, and
Osaka,
then in still other parts of Japan, this shining trio appears this way. So it would have to be in context a continuation of something.
I've seen this question
There you
before.
There we go.
There you go, Brady.
You're right. It's in this part of Japan blank, in other parts of Japan
All
blank.
right,
Look
there
at
we
that.
go.
That
There it
is
is.
what recognition is for. You are looking at the answer choices. They tell you what you're being tested on.
Okay, I think we have a good number of people here who is their first time. Thanks for joining us. A lot of the questions we're answering are posted in our Discord down below. You can post in the chat. You can post in the Discord. The Discord is a pretty good community to ask questions at any time, even when we're not streaming, and get answers for those. Let's see. We do this, if you don't know, we do this 5 days a week, Sunday to Thursday. We stream 8 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We tutor full-time as well. Our information for that is down below if you're interested. If not, hey, this is free. We have a Facebook page, YouTube channel, all that jazz down below. If you have Twitch Prime and you feel so inclined, I think it's one of these corners. It's flipped for us, so I don't really know where I'm pointing. You can do that. If you are a senior, we have a giveaway going off right now to get a free revision session with Levi to work on your college application essays. The whole point of why we stream this is because we know not everybody can afford tutoring. Not everybody can have access to it. This is us. We're here to answer all your questions, so ask us them.
TI-84, nice.
There it is. But yeah, Plaster Hippie, you have the PSAT tomorrow. What are you not prepared for? What are you prepared for? Are you sure? Do you, well, not to make, that made it sound bad, but do you want to make sure? Do you want to ask us any questions? Do you want us to throw trick questions at you? Do you have any specific topics you know you're not comfortable with? Anything? Same for Aka Awesome. I think there's a couple other people who are potential PSAT takers tomorrow. Let you get some paper. All right. If you want, again, there are tests down below that you can look at to find specific problems for us to go over. Can we go over basic geometry? Circles, triangles, quadrilaterals. What do you want?
Kites. Rhombi.
Rhombi. Kaleidoscopes. What?
Maybe give them the old distance midpoint formulas.
I will if they let me know. Guys, this is just waiting for questions. Guys, can you check the Discord? I think we got a couple in there, maybe.
It's all Vinroy's stuff. I'm not sure if
Oh, all right.
it's part of the same question or not.
Plaster Hippie. We can go over basic geometry, but basic geometry is terribly expansive.
And expensive.
And expensive, okay. Anything. Triangles, 30, 60, 90. 45, 45, 90. Sine, cosine, tangent. The unit circle.
Oh, it looks like we
Radians.
got a
What are
question.
those?
We have a question from Vinroy. Thank you, Vinroy, for actually asking a question.
Nah,
Unlike
they
you
asked.
other people.
I just wanted to be a little more specific because I
Okay,
could
yeah,
go
yeah.
on for another hour and a half about geometry, but
Yeah. Okay. Vinroy's question. Let's look at the answer choice. Let's do a little bit of recognition. Nobody ever says that. Okay. We have, so the battery would stay warm in F. located in the downtown area of the city. Those are totally different. They say nothing. They're not the same thing at all. So that's probably not a grammar question. H, so the battery would continue to work properly despite the cold weather. And J, delete it.
Batteries like cold
okay.
weather. What do you mean?
Let's read this paragraph in total. I parked my rental car down in downtown Fairbanks, and to keep the battery from freezing, I plugged the engine into an electrical outlet in the parking lot so the battery would stay warm. Ah, okay. So yeah, the context is definitely key here. I parked the rental car downtown, and to keep the battery from freezing. So that's the goal. We want to keep the battery from freezing. That's said earlier in the sentence. I plugged this in. So G is off topic. I think G is definitely... Oh, what do we got? What do we got? You see it now.
Oh, great.
That's recognition, Vinroy. Yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and jump into the ACT. We got a question from Plaster Hippie
Yes.
about
Don't need to help now.
52. Or is that answering that one?
That was 52 is Vinroy's question. That's done now.
Oh, Plaster Hippie. All right. Man.
Oh, I don't know. If
I guess I didn't
say.
recognize that. That's a
Yeah.
bummer. All right. Okay. Well, if you have a real question, not just answering it. Although, hey, kudos to you for answering it and knowing it. Thanks for joining the Discord, guys. Amber Muffin. All right, we got a question. Abandoned mines frequently fill with water. Did you know? Sometimes we call those quarries. All right. Before an abandoned mine can be reopened, the water must be pumped out. The size of the pump required depends on the depth of the mine. Makes sense. If pumping out a mine that is D feet deep... Uh-oh, let's go ahead and start writing stuff down. D feet deep. D feet. It requires a pump that pumps a minimum of... Ooh, that's not drawn great. D squared over 25 plus 4D minus 250. And what is this exactly? A pump that has a minimum of, okay, this gallons per minute. That's pretty quick. Maybe. Pumping out a mine that is 150 feet deep would require a pump that pumps a minimum of how many gallons per minute? Well, all right, Amber Muffin. For this, I believe we just plug in 150 to D and we solve. Not sure what the specific question was for this. And then, awesome, Plaster Hippie's got a question. 17 PSAT, no calc. Levi, do you want to look at that one by Plaster Hippie?
That's actually Bird's going to get that one. I'm going to
Okay.
do Amber's one about the irrational numbers. Delete is like 40% of the time. Always check it first. Someone who does better on English compared to math.
I wouldn't say to ever. I think it's fine to check it first, but I would never say always look like. To say that it is
Yeah.
statistically a certain amount of the time is how they're going to trick you, because they don't keep things like that consistent. But for this one, we would plug in 150. 15 squared is 225, so this is 225, and then 2 zeros. Did I do that right? 150, 150, 100, 100 is 10,000. Yeah, cool. Over 25. Maybe it's supposed to be something else. I think that's right, though. Quick math. 150 squared. Yeah. Okay, good. Because this ends up being 900. That's a much nicer number. Plus 4 times that, which is 600. Minus 250.
Thanks for the follow, Plaster Hippie.
We now have plus, what is that? 350.
Woo, Vinroy,
So
did
we
that
have
just happen?
1,250 gallons per minute. Amber Muffin. Unless it's a minus and a minus and I read the question wrong, but yeah. All right.
I'm going to pick on Plaster Hippie. Now that you are welcomed into the community, I'm going to pick on you. You missed this from the other day, and everybody, this is
Oh,
a good
no.
reminder. Comparators. You have
Oh,
to compare
no.
the right way. So Plaster Hippie said, from someone who does better on English compared to math. That's wrong. I am better on English than on math. Not, or maybe on, doesn't matter too much. It's not I am better on English compared to math. That's like saying I am taller compared to him.
I am tall compared to him. I am short compared to him. I am taller than him. All right? Great. Very good. Amber, and that... Yes, it sounded like that was from what we talked about yesterday.
Pyro.
We had discussed that. Okay.
All good, Plaster Hippie. We're just giving you some trouble for funsies.
Yes.
All right. What was his?
Well, I
their
want to
actual
do
question?
Amber's question. No, Plaster Happy was just answering something.
No, they asked a legit question. Brady, do you have theirs?
But that was after Amber's question.
Okay.
So I want to hit Amber's.
You did that. I'm gonna go and respond to something.
Amber. So, how
Thanks
many...
for the follow, Plaster Hippie.
Yep. How many irrational numbers between 1 and 6? Between 1 and 6. Okay, so the question here is, what is an irrational number, really? We have real numbers. We have imaginaries. Those make up all the numbers. And then I guess you can write a real number as a complex number, so you can say there are complex numbers. That's everything. Now, sorry, Siddharth. Under real numbers, we have rational and irrational. That's where the breakdown comes. Rational, irrational. A rational number can be represented by a fraction, but the way I like to remember it is a non-repeat, or it is, okay, let's start with irrational. Non-repeating and non-terminating. Pi is an irrational number. So the answer would be, I'm totally not a mess. I'm totally not mess. Oh, totally not messy. Hi, we have totally not met before. We totally didn't see you on the stream last week, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got your PSATs tomorrow. That's good. Ask some questions in the chat or the Discord. Or, yeah. Okay, that did, gang. Right. Oh, I don't know what that means. Actually, I think I do. Non-repeating, non-terminating. So pi, phi, e, 0.16324 million, blah, 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 blah. Keep going. It has to never repeat, and it can never terminate. And by never repeat, we mean like it can't be 0.35353535 forever. Okay, that would make it rational. And then it breaks down further from there. But that's irrational. So, Amber, how many irrational numbers are there between 1 and 6? You can't possibly count them because there are an infinite number. How many integers are between 1 and 6? The answer is 4. How many... And then beyond that, it's just infinite. How many fractions are between there? How many rational numbers are between there? Also infinite, I would say. It just... Yeah, you can't count it. Infinite. Weird question, though, for sure.
Okay,
Call me Christian if you want. Oh, my gosh.
Good, sorry.
I didn't do it.
Well,
If it makes you feel any better.
All right, Plaster Hippie. Plaster. Got a nice question in the Discord here. It's a coefficients question. And it starts out by giving us some quantities in parentheses. So we have ax plus by times cx minus dy. And, okay, gives us a bunch of things. It says a, b, c, and d are non-zero constants. So they exist. They're not just going to be gone, and they are numbers.
not going to be CS gone.
They're not going to be CS gone. I hope not. I hope not. Here, you want to hold this for a sec? Okay, never mind. And then some other piece of information they give us. We'll see where this comes up, but we know that AD is equal to BC, and we also know that AC is equal to 18, and BD is equal to 50. It asks, what is the value of the coefficient of the xy term when the expression is multiplied out and the like terms are collected? I first would like to say that collected is not the usual word that you see. They say that like terms are combined, not collected. Right?
Yes.
Yes, but regardless, recognition. We probably should multiply these out. Is that what you're waiting for?
Yes.
Yes. I do like recognition. I always have said that, okay? we don't know the values of these variables. That doesn't mean we can't multiply them out. All right, let's just do some FOIL and let's see where this takes us. We're eventually trying to find the coefficient of the xy term. Okay, so first we have ax times cx, which is going to give us acx squared. Wonderful. We have minus adxy. Okay, then we move on to this one. This is going to be plus bcxy. We have our last term, which is going to be minus bdy squared. Fantastic. All right. Let's now see if any of the numbers that they gave us will fit in with what we have. So AC is equal to 18. We have an AC right here. It's not what the question's asking about, but hey, I like to simplify things when I can. It's a hard world out there for someone who doesn't like simplifying things, and I am not that person. For someone who doesn't like simplifying things, 18x squared. Okay. BD is 50, so we can throw 50 over there. This is the thing that we have to combine. We want to find the coefficient of xy after we combine these like terms. And this is these both are xy terms we have to combine. So I am going to rewrite this in a second. I'm going to keep this as it is, adxy plus bcxy. And then BD we know is 50. So hey, that's now 50y squared. Doesn't do much for us, but I like it, and it does something for me. AD and BC are the two coefficients we have to combine somehow, and lo and behold, they are equal to each other. AD is equal to BC. That's interesting, okay? So I'm going to do substitution. AD right here, I'm going to switch it out with BC, and we'll see what happens. 18x squared minus, instead of AD, I'm going to insert BC, minus BCXY plus BCXY minus 50y squared. Do you see what's going to happen, Plaster Hippie? The coefficients are going to cancel each other out. Minus BC plus BC. That's like minus 5xy plus 5xy. They're going to cancel each other out. Meaning the coefficient in front of xy, because it's gone, is secretly 0. You could write this as 18x squared plus 0xy minus 50y squared. You wouldn't normally write this because if it's 0, it's not there, but they're asking for what that coefficient is, and hypothetically it's 0. I didn't get this far. But did you get this far with me now? Does this all make sense, Plaster Hippie? I hope it did. I hope it did. I think it can be kind of confusing looking at the question and wondering how you're going to get there. Just start. Start with multiplying. See what happens. We got this. Thank you. Makes perfect sense. Is this an ACT question? No, it is not. This is an essay. This is a PSAT question, which could show up on an SAT as well. There's a lot of interchangeable concepts. Yes. Okay, you guys got something? No? Hey guys, ask some questions. Let's do a spiel. Brendan, you're good at the spiel. Brendan is our resident spiel man. He's gonna give you the spiel while I race.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, we've got our Discord down below. No, we've got our Discord down below. Feel free. That's where lots of you guys are asking your questions. That's why if you are new and you're not seeing the questions in the chat, you're wondering where we're getting them. It tends to be a lot easier to have them in the Discord so that students can then come and see them later. Images show up immediately. You don't have to click a link and then go somewhere else. What else? We have Facebook, YouTube, maybe Twitter, all that down below. We have, you can subscribe to us with Twitch Prime or regularly if you want. We do this for free, but we appreciate anything else. We have a tip jar down below if you don't want to do bits. I don't know, guys. Whatever you want. We tutor one-on-one online. We have a tutor or two who work for us as well. Their price is down below. If you want to know our prices, feel free to message us, whisper us, check out our website, send us an email. Keep mooching off us doing this for free because we're not going to stop doing this. But this isn't going to be quite as good as us working with you one-on-one, obviously, because maybe we're not answering all your questions. You might not know what you do and don't know, what topics you struggle with. If you're taking the PSAT tomorrow and that's what you need help with, sorry. But that's why we're here. That's why you can ask us questions now.
I don't know, guys.
We got some questions.
Share us with your friends. Let everybody know we do free SAT and ACT tutoring. Any of you right now who are watching us and asking questions, you're probably pretty self-motivated, and you know people who are like, oh man, I wish I, had, right? And normally you're like, yeah, well, forget you guys. I'm just gonna do it myself. You're motivated. Let them know this is here. They don't have to watch it, but if they're not motivated and this makes it easier for them and it helps them, like, let them know. Man, I'm just spieling now. Ask us any questions. I guess they've got some in the queue they're working on. If you have any questions about us, why we do this, our background, are we qualified? I don't know, whatever you want to know. If the information's not below, ask us. We'll tell you, for the most part. Yo, I got you. Hey, thank you, Pyro Prancer. Y'all get that?
Got it. What?
Math problem by Pyro Prancer?
Yeah, well, Vinroy's got.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you're in the queue, Pyro.
Yeah, we have.
Que hora es?
Que hora? Oh.
9:26.
We got a couple minutes left.
We're fine.
Oh, whoa, we got. Okay. So, Vinroy first, then Plaster Hippie. And then, Boruto. Hey, Boruto.
Boruto?
Boruto.
Also, if Agnologia Slayer is still on, I see where you got that name from. It's all right. I'm a nerd. Yo! You know what? I'm sorry. I just came from tutoring, so I have jeans on. I apologize so much. I should have worn my jorts today. I feel like I let you down, Fortlight.
Yeah, so Boruto is last.
Boruto.
Vinroy, your question. All right. Do we want to add in...
Yes.
So also, this is down in the Discord if you don't know what I'm talking about. Do we want to add in such as medicine, pharmaceuticals, and chemicals? The approach to this question is not to answer yes or no, because you don't have all the information yet. You're going to have to eliminate 3 of the answers anyway, so don't read yes or no. It won't help you. You'll get to it. Now, first one. Blank, because it offers relevant examples that helps to specify a broad term. Okay, well, there are definitely examples in this. Medicine, pharmaceuticals, and chemicals. Do they help specify a broad term? We need to figure out what that broad term would be, and if they specify them well. I think that broad term would have to be smaller panels depict workers in a variety of other Detroit industries, such as, so the broad term is industries, and then we're giving examples, medicine, pharmaceutical, chemicals. That makes sense to me, so we'll leave it. And the answer is yes, so that works if that's the answer. G, because it helps explain how the panels were physically constructed. No, it's explaining what is on the panels, what's painted on them. It's not about how the panels themselves were physically constructed. B is out, it's wrong. Because the sentence doesn't even do that. So the answer yes doesn't matter, because it's a lie. H, because it provides examples, because it provides a sampling of industries rather than a full listing. Yes, it does provide a sampling of industries, but does that mean we shouldn't have it in there? No, like the idea that they're only giving a sample instead of an exhaustive list of industries means that we can't use it. I don't think that makes sense. So the reasoning now does not support the answer no. That's why H is wrong. And then J, it digresses from the main point of the sentence. I don't think it does. I think it's doing exactly what F says. There you go, Vinroy. Work through it like that. Remember, don't look at yes and no. It will not help you. You have to look at the reasoning and then see if it's good enough. Then does it support the answer?
Great. Braidward, you got one of the other, what, plastic?
Yeah, I got it.
Plaster. And then Boruto or Pyro Prancer.
Plast word.
All right.
And a mark word. Thanks, Brent word.
Nice. Oh, no, you tossed it to me. Why would I give it back?
Plaster Hippie.
Shoot.
Your turn. They got 26. They give us
Stop doing
a
it like that.
function definition. F of x is 3x squared
3x squared
minus 5x
minus 5x
plus 4.
and plus 4.
I don't know what I'd do without you here.
You don't know what you'd do without me.
And they're asking for what f of x minus 4 would be equal to. I don't know. I think about it a lot.
What would you do without your father's watch?
I don't know. It's
your birthright.
My birthright.
All right.
So if they had asked you something like what was f of 5, what you would do here is take 5 and plug it in for x.
So
Everywhere you see.
I'll do that.
Everywhere, exactly, Fortlight. We plug 5 in for x. And Brandon's going to do that right now for us. Very nice. Okay. What's inside the parentheses is what you plug in for x. We're just going to plug this in for x. That's all. X minus 4 will be the quantity that we plug in for where we see x. We're going to need to put it in parentheses. Be careful. Plaster Hippie. Okay, right, okay. I'm going to guess that that'll carry you the rest of the way. Make sure you're going to square x minus 4. You're going to, distribute, combine like terms. That'll get you where you want to go. So I think we're good with that one now.
Great. All right.
Baruto, who is awesome, has one.
Boruto. That's Pyroprancer, guys.
It's Pyroprancer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yes, way.
Okay. Pyroprancer. You want to do this one?
I haven't seen it, but I can. Let's do it.
You want to do it together?
Sure.
Okay.
You want to read it?
What here? Let's see. I will write
Speed of light in a vacuum. Distance between Earth and the Sun. All
Okay.
right. A common unit of length used in astronomy is a light year. I feel like that should be hyphenated, but anyway, a light year, which is defined as the distance light travels in a vacuum in 1 year. If you didn't know, space is a vacuum, or they call it the vacuum of space. I don't know if it's a perfect vacuum.
Your brain's a vacuum.
For smaller distances, astronomers can use units like the light minute, which is the distance light travels in a vacuum in 1 minute, based on the table above, which is the approximate distance between the Earth and the Sun in light minutes. Okay, cool. Speed of light in a vacuum. Well, we have it in meters per second.
We got some bits.
Hey, thanks, Vinroy. We appreciate that. The trick here, the strategy, the thing you want to recognize.
Thank you.
There it is. We are given the speed of light. We know it, and we know the distance. So we're set. We just multiply them, we figure it out. We divide them, right? Wrong.
Yeah.
We have seconds, and we want minutes. So this is what we talked about earlier with units. Stoichiometry, if any of you like and took chemistry and or biology.
That's a good one to inhale.
Stoichiometry.
All right. So we have 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second, and we want this in minutes. So let's figure out how we can get this into minutes. Well, I want it to be minutes, but I want the minutes to be on bottom because I'm going to rewrite this.
Yep.
One way to try not be confused. If you have per, it's on the bottom. So you have meters per 1 second. Now I want to say I want to get this in minutes on the bottom because I want it per minute. Right, so I got 1 minute here. I've got is 60 seconds, meaning my seconds are now going to cancel, and I have meters per minute. Now I multiply this. What is that? That's going to be 1.8 times 10 to the 10.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meters per minute.
Huh.
Now I can travel that many meters in a minute.
So that right there is a light minute. This distance right
This
here.
is a light minute.
Huh.
What would a heavy minute be? Haha. All right, I hate me too. It's fine. That's why I do it. All right, a light minute. Somewhere someone had a kid.
Yeah.
All right, a light minute. And we want to know how many light minutes does it take to travel the distance of 1.5 times 10 to the 11th meters. Well, I'm going to say I have 1.5 times 10 to the 11 meters divided by my speed of 1.8 times 10 to the 10 meters per minute. Right? Brady's favorite meal. Now, I'm dividing by minutes here, which means I'm going to end up with a value in minutes. So this is going to equal some amount of minutes, which is what we want. Or light minutes, right? Minutes, L, light minutes. I don't know, however we want to keep that together. Brady, I've kind of taken this over.
No, it's fine.
Apologize.
I think this right here, it might be simpler to put this over 1 and then multiply by the fraction of this fraction right here.
Okay, yeah, let's get. You can go ahead and do that.
So let's see, if this thing right here, that's the distance that a light minute is, and we're trying to figure out, we want to convert that into light minutes, right?
Well, this is light minutes.
I mean, we want to convert that
This.
distance into light minutes. And this right
Sure.
here, so the conversion rate, we got 1.8 times 10 to the 10th meters is 1 light minute.
Yep.
Okay. So then we're taking what was normally meters.
And dividing by a light minute.
Yeah, divided by a light minute. Yeah, which, I mean, that totally will get you there. Okay,
1.5.
you keep going.
All right. Meaning, what we want to do here, there's a couple steps, right? I can think of this as 1.5 times 10 to the 11th over 1.8 times 10 to the 10th. I want to think about this as 15 times 10 to the 10th. I want to get the units the same. I would rather work with it there instead of potentially mix up my exponents after that. Meaning, if I have my calculator on me, I don't, but I have my phone. I want 15 divided by 1.8, and it hopefully is a nice number, but come on, let's be serious here. 8 and a third. So we're going to end up with,
25 over 3.
thank you, 25 over 3 light minutes.
That's good. Ah, very good. Hope that's an answer.
That's a distance.
Yeah, light minutes is a distance it travels. Or wait, hold on.
Yeah. Light minutes a distance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, unit conversions are awesome. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Like, how many stones does Brendan weigh? I don't know. Why do Brits still use Brits still use that?
Stones.
Stones. I don't know. Like, I know pounds are messed up, but like kilograms make sense. But pones, stones, and boulders. No, they don't use. I think they do. I don't know. It's just messed up, guys. If you're from England, go to sleep. But I also apologize, I guess. But
Just in general, if you're in England at any time, go to
Just go
sleep.
to sleep. It's
We're
so- it's
just
so
sick of
late.
you.
or I guess it's so early for you guys.
Do you guys use stones instead of pounds?
No, gosh, no.
Hey, BizWiz. Oh,
Hey.
I think I know who that might be.
I
think
don't know if I do.
who that might be. BizWiz, is it who I think it is?
It might not be though.
What's
No, I
poppin'?
feel like I know who that is.
Okay.
Although BizWiz is already subscribed, aren't they?
No, that just means they have Twitch Prime available.
Oh.
If they are
okay.
subscribed to us, they've got a purple crown looking thing or a purple star like Vinroy does.
Got it. I've been confusing those symbols this entire time.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
But
we were
hey.
about to say goodbye, Plaster Hippie,
But Plaster Hippie did say, can we do it really fast? And that does change the
I can do it
situation.
pretty quickly.
how about we all do it simultaneously, really quickly?
You want to race this, bud? We got a head start here. I don't have Twitch Prime. And you still subscribed. We appreciate that. We appreciate it
what's the
regardless.
number?
26 on the calculator section.
It was the
Okay.
one where we put an f of x minus 4, right? I think that's the one that...
Oh, is it f of x minus 4?
Yes, I mean,
Okay,
that's the one.
so we
that was
have
the one.
3x minus 4 squared
lag.
plus
Was it plus 5x?
plus 5x minus 5x
Are you guys almost done?
plus 4.
Yeah,
We're
are.
about to sign off after this.
BizWiz, maybe I don't know who you are. I thought I might have known, but maybe not.
Yeah, I would sub instantly to you guys. Hey, thanks. No, we appreciate that.
We'd receive your sub instantly as well.
We would. Hey, thank you, Plaster Heavy. So what we want here is we have 3 times x squared minus 8x plus 16 minus 5x minus
Wait,
24.
wait, wait. I'm very confused. I thought we were doing 26 on the calculator section.
Isn't that this?
No?
Brady?
Wait, 20. This is not... That answer that Plaster Hippie's getting does not make sense with this. I think 26 is the one they sent. Was it from a different test, though?
Yeah.
They sent us
okay.
one on
Sorry,
the
that's my
Discord.
bad. I thought it was on there
Alright,
too. From
Yeah.
here, you multiply everything by 3, so 3x.
So yeah, just turn it off,
Squared.
Levi.
What are they asking for here?
Yeah, BizWiz, I do not know you. I apologize. I thought I knew who you were, but maybe not. I don't usually just tell someone that's new to the channel that I know them. That's not my thing.
Oh, hey, Alabama. I've been there before. 3x squared minus 29x
Wait,
minus 24. Did I do this wrong?
plus 20 minus 4.
Ooh, there it is. That's possibly the mistake he made, or they made. Plus 20 minus 4, so plus 16. Plus 16. And that's going to give me 32. I think that's what they were getting.
They say it's plus 72. Should be plus 72.
Well, this is going to give you a positive. That's a negative. You have a positive 816 times 3 is 48.
Was it minus 5x or plus 5x?
Because that would change it a lot.
Where's
Where do we get the plus 16 here? 4 times 4. Or the plus 16 here. This is going to be positive 20 minus 4. Plus 4. That would, that would definitely make a difference. Oh, I also subtracted these instead of adding these. So that makes sense. It's a plus 4.
It's a plus 4.
So it is 24, but a positive 24. 24 plus 48 gives us 72.
They get it.
Great.
Okay.
All right, cool. We will see you guys.
Yeah, that was a little bit of
Tomorrow?
a mess there, but yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. For those of you taking the PSAT, good luck. You'll do great.
Get some sleep,
That
eat some
sounds very
food, bring some
confident.
snacks, drink some water between the sessions when you have some time. Get up, move around. You worked hard. You should be fine.
Yeah, if you're scared, if the nerves come, focus on the questions, focus on the approach that you've been doing and the amount of work you've put in. It's not every question itself does not have an effect on your future.
No.
It's that question. Do that question, and then move on to the next one and do that one.
Hunter
Oh.
College? It's a college full of hunters? Wow. Do they do like big game stuff?
Big game stuff.
Are they watching you take the PSAT?
Are they like there to hunt for students? I don't know. I missed it. I lost it there. But
Hunter College. I like Hunter College.
is that near here? I should know
I
this.
feel like it was an all-women's school, but I may have made that up.
College visit.
VTech coming to my school.
That's Virginia Tech. For those of you who
VTech.
don't know, I think.
Do you want Nerdish to come to your school?
Ooh.
We can arrange that.
let
Nerdish.
your counselors know we do this. I don't know. Some people have. Some counselors have reached out.
Okay.
But mine won't. Hunter
Good
College is
night,
one of the
everybody.
University of New York. Okay, Lenox Hill neighborhood. Oh, it's on Upper East. Really? Oh no, I've walked past that about 100 times. My
We
bad.
do BizWiz. We do ACT prep 5 days a week, basically. If you look at our concepts calendar down below, you'll see that. Also, the ACT coming up at the end of the month. We're doing a cram session or
For
cram
that.
sessions all week, Sunday to Friday night,
Leading
for
up
two
to
and
it.
a half hours every single night.
It's
You should-
awesome.
We
It's
do
awesome.
ACT,
Yeah.
SAT, and because SAT and PSAT are effectively the same, we do those every night. So we cover topics for both. Sometimes it'll be exclusively topics on the math section of the ACT or the science section maybe, or topics that are like two-part questions which are only seen on the SAT. But generally, everything we cover can be used on both. Yes, we are on the East Coast. We're in Manhattan. The Big Apple, I think I've heard some people call it. But it doesn't look like an apple to me.
The
It
Big
makes
Apple
it
of
doesn't make
Doom.
sense.
There are some apples.
Yeah, there's more pears.
Okay.
All right,
Have
thanks,
a good
guys.
night, everybody.
Go
Good
get 'em.
luck.